Since humankind's initial conception, the cosmos have captivated our collective subconsciousness and inspired countless of myths and legends about what lies beyond the sky. Space as a concept serves to intrigue our pervasive curiosities about the unknown. Our view of the stars at night often resembles a window into the dark corners of existence that we don't yet understand, like death and what came before our birth. Frank Herbert wrote that the concept of progress acts as a protective mechanism to shield us from the terrors of the future. As art is the byproduct of human expression, it is structured by the context of the time in which it was created. More often than not, science fiction creates a setting that reflects the turmoil of our present and the ghosts of the past. Then it is true escapism into the world of tomorrow. The genre has come a long way since its pulpy roots. Before the 1960s, science fiction often expressed more optimism and playfulness as the worlds explored the future of humanity and the wonders of a new golden age brought by the advances of technology. After World War II introduced the world to the realities of scientific advancement used to bring upon brutality and suffering, the aesthetic of retrofuturistic romanticism shifted into nihilism and grimness, the all-embracing gloom heavily influenced by the creation of the atomic bomb and the paranoias of the Cold War era, where the looming anxiety of nuclear annihilation confronted American life at any possible moment. Following the fears spurned by post-war life came the anti-authoritarian sentiment that grew with the psychedelic and anti-war cultural movements that inspired American youth across the nation. Many of these people were artists of all sorts, people who recognized the rigidity of life as created by government control systems. Many could foresee the future of advanced technology as something that could devour our individuality and allow government and corporate entities the power to increase surveillance and inflict cruelty upon populations to maintain control and spread their influence around the world. Such pessimism also gave way for the utopian idealism of a timeline where people held a spiritual connection to all life on Earth, where the ego-driven agendas that caused war and class indifference would evaporate with the shameful past of our material world. People would, at last, be free. As life moved closer to the new millennium, science fiction writers began exploring the possibilities of dystopia that await humankind. Stories started seeing advancements in nuclear and computer technology as future means of destruction. Imagery depicting genocide and enslavement from artificial intelligence, and humans reverting to primordial tribalism and survival instinct in the wake of true desperation became more of a prevalent theme among these writers, showing an exploration of a hopeless notion that no matter how far we advance and better ourselves and our society as a whole, nothing can escape our deep-rooted and ancient human darkness. As writers began delving deeper into these themes, many musicians started to absorb the questions and imagery these works proposed about the future of humanity, with David Bowie experimenting with electronic instrumentation to sell sci-fi inspired narratives about the human reaction to the existential uncertainty, as well as Syd Barrett, Paul Cantor, and Jimi Hendrix, just to name a few, who began to pull from sci-fi literature and explore the concepts of the vastness of the unknown void of space through music that would evoke cosmic otherworldliness through modulated production, electronica, and space-age storytelling. Since then, however, the medium has only grown and matured. Many artists today use science fiction world building through music, writing, and visuals to create a fantasy that's still uncomfortably deep-rooted within the ills of our present. Quazarz, born on a gangster star, is Shabazz Palace's interstellar journey about a cosmic emissary that travels across the galaxy to reach the violent world of America. The record's production conveys a strange sense of hypnotic sleepiness as it resonates across the vast spaces of the mix. Every song is drenched with a euphoric airiness and a cosmic blur of futuristic synth tones.
They tails rattle, but they fell in battle. I pop jail shout-outs while I bail Seattle. I hear the chatter, but to me it ain't matter. I'm off a stamp passport with some cake batter, getting at her. Of course I bagged her, they shatter and batter. He's the former, I'm the latter. He got a bio, the things he bragged about me when I came out, when I already had it.
The story of Quazarz is concluded with the following companion album, Quazarz vs. the Jealous Machines. It is here where he arrives on America to shine his celestial light upon the toxicity of its civilization. But soon, he becomes lost within the technological sprawl of an unfeeling and deceitful society, a place where falsehood parades itself as truth, and cruelty is fueled by hatred as it surges through the undertones of a rigid corporate schedule that controls the flow of all life.
How and why do I find myself within these complex sets of patterns? I am alive. I know I am living. I am life itself. I know this. But of what substance is this life? And how far can it be depend upon?
One more time. One more climb. Tie imported silk, leaning, melting, popping milk. Razors chopping down a hill, sporting mean and gleaming real. Shiny as a pearl, line is stitched in lavender. Barber named them Ish Bliss, if he wish he having her. Each day of the calendar, crowns of light, exotic fur. Toxins burn my blood up, what up? Flip them like a spatula. Quasar players so saucy, approaching space from starry angles. Ethiopian gold dangles, get from one with whom I'm tangled. Yeah, aim and let that flame glow. You famous but you lame though. Some felt you but we ain't though. This curve ain't me and Ray say so. Fresh from Paris, with the heiress, like Daenerys, yes. Leaning Legos, waking bacon, Turks and Caicos. Allergic to you, you're fake, bro, you're composer tag.
In contrast to the warm and mesmerizing tones of the album prior, Quazarz vs. the Jealous Machines feels cold and sterile. The words echo through an often monotone delivery across robotic-sounding instrumentation that's unnervingly imposing.
Yeah, I slide down 23rd real slow, easy, hard, Quazarz say hell no, my era, J's what's called
Shabazz Palaces always creates a sonic, fantastical world with this surreal sense of character that's completely of another dimension. However, much of their lyrics have criticized the materialistic values taken by hip-hop culture and our modern society as a whole within the past couple decades. Primarily, how the focus has been shifted away from the authenticity of a character and more towards the outward appearance of one, and how value is now so easily accredited to insignificant things, so much so that some often spend their whole lives chasing them.
Ancient times, bloodlines.
In another space within a similar time, a dystopian venture through the rot of a decaying future was performed through King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard on their album Infest the Rat's Nest. an abrasive conjoining of vintage psychedelia and thrash metal that reflects our modern concern over humanity's path being currently molded by the interests of powerful billionaires, as centuries of ecological destruction shape the planet into an uninhabitable place that may soon reject all life. The music tells a story about a time in the near future where Earth's fossil fuels have been completely depleted and the remaining human population shrivels from a worldwide famine. Up among the stars, the wealthy elite escape from the horrors below, where they live luxuriously in an artificial sanctuary on Mars. With the shuttle ticket and cost of life on the red planet unattainable for the working class, they are left to die on the ruins of Earth. The consequence of centuries of human interference and subjugation of the natural world is a reoccurring theme throughout the album's lyrics. The physical effect that our unsustainable mining and consumption of resources will have on our environment reflects our human sense of self-importance that we've relied on to justify our mission to carve through and shape the wilderness into our civilization. On the following track, Superbug, the tone shifts to an even darker place. Superbug in my blood, they sing, detailing the oncoming of a virus that decimates the dwindling human population, proving resistant to all antibiotic defenses. I remember first listening to this album on the week of its release and being enraptured by the hardships of this world and the grievous urgency in how its message was performed. Just a few months later, the world then fell into a global pandemic that halted all the activity of modern life. The eeriness of such a sudden silence where there was once endless commotion gave way to see past the tenebrous noise that infests the restless sound, and into the root emotion the story evokes: hopelessness. Even now, with the mass anxieties of life and the time of disease having subsided, even if only slightly, into the copacetic of things normalized and mundane, I wonder, if not this threat, then what will it be? What points hidden deep within the stream of time will uproot the great catastrophe humans have dreaded and sought so tirelessly to perceive? While tomorrow is a constant unknown that we can only speculate on what it will look like or despair its oncoming, the moment where it shifts into our present is the only thing truly inevitable. Only through our words and our art may we better prepare for its arrival, but nothing can shape or intercede it. Just as those who came before, we can only cement our ideas someplace physical or subconscious so it can help divert the course we take. Or, if we've already gone too far down the stream, they remain as some piece of guidance to those who are left.